jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to see Newcastle win away. Hey, that's right. It's a very busy weekend for a lot of people. Lots of people doing Christmas shopping, wrapping, getting the big shop in. You know, the big shop, the dreaded big shop. And, I am planning on doing some Christmas present wrapping to help out. You know, get all the big jobs done before Santa comes down the chimney. But sometimes you just trip and you fall and you end up at Luton away. What could I do? It happens. It happens, and I'm sure it'll happen on Saturday. Yes, Eddie House Mags, after quite a difficult week, are back in action just before Santa Claus puts his big fat ass down people's chimneys across Newcastle. Newcastle's away form's not great, so we're going to be looking at Luton Town away. Quite an interesting away game, to say the least. The match previews coming up, Newcastle fans, so you know what to do, as it's Christmas, and make sure you stick around. Welcome back to Black White Banter, you lovely Newcastle fans. Or should I say, ho, ho, ho. Eddie Howe? Doesn't really go, does it? Eddie Howe. No. Sounded better in my head. Maybe Jojo Linton. Call Dog, if you're watching this, you've got that on a hoodie, so I've kind of stolen it from that. Welcome back to Black White Banter, and Merry Christmas to one and to all. Well, if you're a Newcastle fan. If you're fans of certain other teams, not so Merry Christmas. Why are you here? But if you are here, you may as well want that like anyway, as it is Christmas. You want to give us a little present, drop us a like. You want to give us a really good present because I've been on the nice list, whack that subscribe. So, Eddie House Mags are back in action after a very disappointing night on Tuesday. Very disappointing. It cut like a knife. But I'm over it. I am. And all the talk in the aftermath of the game of Kieran Trippier, what's wrong with him? Should we give him a minute's applause? A minute's applause. We have been talking this week as if Kieran Trippier has broken both legs and will not be playing for the foreseeable. So he's made of strong stuff. He's lost Euro finals with England. He's been in and out of teams. He's a model professional. He will not be needing Newcastle fans to give him a minute's applause. We're behind him. Players make mistakes. Shit happens. And I tell you what, I think the reason I'm over Tuesday is probably more because it's a cup game. And if that big fat man who used to look after our football club and treat it like a business has taught me anything as a fan, it's taught me to be made of strong stuff. Going out the cup's nothing new to us. It's not. Going out the cup in a hard fashion is nothing new to us. The day we win something will be the hardest way possible. But it was disappointing. So we go on. We've got another fixture, and they do feel thick and fast. And I tell you what, my gut reaction about Luton Town away is that after everything we've had going on, cup games, penalty shootouts, league matches, lots of different struggles here and there, injuries, suspensions, Luton away is probably not the sort of game you want. And the reason I say that is because if our boys do not show up with fight on Saturday, before anything else, before tactical quality, before just general quality on the pitch, attacking quality, defensive qualities, because we are a better team than Luton, and they would admit that. Any neutral would admit that, even if it is for some people through gritted teeth. If you do not show up to a very small pitch, very small changing room, narrow little entrance into the ground, cosy little stadium, we will not win this football match. Luton will throw the kitchen sink at us. They've got a draw from Liverpool. They've taken Man City all the way. They've taken Arsenal until the 96th minute and scored 3 goals in the process. It's a tough one, it is, and we really, really need to be up for it. And yes, I am going down to Luton. It was the fixture we all looked for, so I'm hoping to walk into the away end and catch someone doing a Christmas Yuletide log in their bathrooms, because we will be walking through people's houses to get in the away end. So that's going to be an absolutely fascinating trip, and I cannot wait. You can stick your hospitality in your corporate stadiums like Tottenham up your ass. I want to go to Luton Town away, where there's golden Labradors in the stands. You walk through someone's kitchen to get into the away end. That is what I want. So please, subscribe if you want to see a Luton Town vlog. There's not going to be many of us. Our allocation was 1,100, which is so low for the Premier League, and I think 500 of them went to corporate. The less said about that, the better. So I'm getting the car down. Me and a load of lads are going down in the car. Very early doors. Should be a very interesting trip. Cannot wait. But that leads exactly into what I was just saying. That's what sort of stadium and environment you're going into. It almost feels, and this is no disrespect to Luton, it feels like you've drawn a lower league FA Cup team. Not in quality of what Luton have on the pitch, but the environment, the conditions. And, you know, I would assume your Brunos and your Joe Lintons have played in them sort of stadiums in Brazil when they've played like lower league growing up. But maybe not. So it may come a bit new. And I think tactically, where can we look to really match these? We have to play some of our taller players. We have to be switched on for set pieces because Luton are so dangerous with balls in the box, and they will do that every time. So it's amazing to see Sven Botman back. We don't know on Fabian Schär. Lascelles is normally up for an aerial battle. That's one of his stronger points in my opinion. Dan Burn has to play in this match. He does. I'm sorry. A lot of people might think, no, Trippier Livramento goes without saying. Dan Burn's height could be vital. Joe Linton, there's so many fitness tests according to Eddie Howe on who's going to be able to play in this match. I would love to see Joe Linton in for his aggression, for his power and his ability in the air to defend for us as well. But we don't know. Longstaff, he's quite a tall player. Maybe a difficult match for Lewis Miley, and that's no disrespect to the lad at all. If Eddie Howe does go with Miley, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in this one. And I don't doubt him for a second because he's come up against PSG, Chelsea, you name it. But you've got to be made of stern stuff as a 17-year-old to go down to Luton Town away in front of a packed stadium down there and come away with some points. And Newcastle's away form's not good. And I still haven't pinpointed why. Is the 12th man that much of a factor for Bruno when he screams at the Gallagher end? For Joe Linton when he celebrates slide tackles? For Gordon when he closes down a defender in the corner and turns to the crowd? That's what we've seen probably more of this season than ever. And it's become it's got a reputation for itself where it seems to happen every match now because they want us to get them up for the game. Are we just totally missing that when we're away? That shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't, because look what we did last season. Eddie Howe built a team that didn't lose football matches away from home, and we looked just as good away as what we did at St James's Park. And it's just all gone to shit this season. It really, really has. So yes, it's all well and good. Luton will be very aerial. They will get the ball to Ross Barkley, who's been in some brilliant form, which isn't words I thought I'd say as much as possible. And we have to match them in those departments. Now, where do I think we can hurt them based on what team I think we play? Now, Kieran Trippier, yes, he plays for me. Come on, let's get our head out of our asses here. Kieran Trippier is a model professional. Kieran Trippier will have gone in the dressing room again, and only Eddie Howe will know if he is not ready to play in this match. So I'm going to assume, based off the fact that Eddie Howe brought him on Tuesday as a sub, when he didn't have to, Kraft was doing okay, that Kieran Trippier is capable of playing in this. If he needs a rest, in Eddie Howe we trust, and I will trust him to leave him out and go with Kraft, who again did not put much of a foot wrong. Yes, he doesn't offer us as much going forward. So my defence, I would go with Kieran Trippier. I would keep the faith as long as Eddie Howe thinks he's okay to do so. So I'd go Trippier. Botman has to come back for me. Schär or Lascelles, that'll depend on injuries. Dan Burn plays. Midfield, Bruno, Joe Linton, if he's fit. Again, we do not know. These are all players going through fitness tests. Longstaff. And if Joe Linton's not, let's go Miley. Let's, fearless. I've said that on previous videos, fearless. And he's done nothing wrong and he looks an absolute star. Front three, of course, Anthony Gordon plays. Isak is apparently 50-50. So if Isak is available, I would maybe start Isak and bring Callum Wilson on. It's brought us so much success last season when we did that, when we split them both 45 minutes each. Let's do that. And if Gordon is struggling because he hasn't had much of a rest, move Isak to the left. That's always a nice option to have. Almiron, is Almiron. Almiron has the safety net at the moment that he is picking himself. He does not have competition on the right-hand side. Does that eat into a player's performances on the pitch? That's another debate for another day. You could argue massively that yes, it does. I think St. Maximin went through spells of that with us when he knew he was playing regardless because he was seen as one of our better players under Bruce, and we never always saw 100% from him. And when he was dropped and coming on as a substitute, he always had a point to prove. So Almiron could be going through a bit of that now. He doesn't have Jacob Murphy breathing down his neck, but he pretty much picks himself, which I do think he maybe looks like a player who needs a rest. Without further ado now, let's get into some black and white banter stats. Stats. Luton Town, as much as it might seem on paper like they are having a bad season, it is true they are, and they are still looking relegation favourites. They have actually only failed to score in one of their 8 Premier League home games this season against Tottenham. So they do know where the back of the net is, and that is something that we need to be wary of because we do not keep clean sheets away from home at the moment neither. We need to be on our game. First meeting of Luton and Newcastle in the top flight since 1989. That just makes me more excited to get down there. We have not played these in a top flight game for a very, very, very long time. Another box for me to tick because I wasn't even born the last time we did play them. And finally, Callum Wilson, I am rooting for him massively on Saturday. If he scores, he will be only the 3rd player to score 20 calendar goals for Newcastle in the league. And he's also making his 100th appearance. His goal scoring record is absolutely phenomenal. He's almost got 1 in every 2 matches since he's played. And if you think about the injuries, that's class. I'm rooting for you, Callum. How do I see this one going? I don't know. I feel like this is the worst sort of game when you've had so many matches and coming off a cup defeat. Luton away will be bouncing. They've had a lot going on with their captain, who luckily is recovering well. You know, just before Christmas, they'll feel like Newcastle are their scalps. They've come close with Liverpool, close with Man City, close with Arsenal. I really don't want it to be us. It's got banana skin written all over it. I'm going to sound a bit negative. I'm going to go for a score draw. I think it will be scrappy and we will come away probably happy with a draw. That's how the match might go. It's going to be really, really difficult, but I really hope the boys dig in, pull the socks up for this one from the first whistle and prove us wrong. But regardless, it's Christmas. I'm ticking off Luton for the first ever time. Life's pretty good, and I've been reflecting on this year supporting Newcastle, the calendar year, and it's been pretty incredible. Let's face it, Newcastle fans. Plenty to be happy about. Pigs in blankets coming up. Santa Claus's bag of presents coming not too shortly, and every excuse at 9 in the morning for the next 2 weeks to have a can at 8 a.m. Anyhow's mags have got one more match before Christmas, and let's just hope it's a case of jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it would be to see Newcastle win away. I'll see you on the next one, Newcastle fans. Away, lads!